All right, y'all, I'm back. I got the buffer and slow down. Let's go with part two.
It is supposed to be a weekend to honor our nation's bravest, but
That's what a weekend is. It's the memorial, whoever you want to memorialize to me. It's supposed to be the soldiers, but so many people got killed. Like I know a lot of people got killed though. True. And so I remember and people I love that died. So I try to remember everybody.
Memorial Day turning into mayhem in some places instead. A mob of teenagers unleashing a brutal attack on a group of off duty Marines in California.
My thing is, who's filming it? So it's like, are they waiting for them to do it so they can film it? This ain't disturbing video. Let's see.
This video is very graphic. Watch here.
Somebody said something. You know how it go. Don't nobody want to back down. Don't nobody want to park out. But I don't know what happened. They buking him. They ain't head up squad, but it's a gang of them just kicking him. And he on the ground pawed up. So that's just giving them more incitement to kick him. Now, if he was standing up swinging back, a couple of them going to back up, but not all of them.
The Marines say that they were just enjoying the beach when they asked a group of teens to stop lighting off fireworks.
But hold up, how you on the ground curled up? You the Marine. If that's the Marine or is that the Marine beating up the kids? I don't know. Let me stop.
After getting hit by debris. That then led to the altercation where the men were jumped and repeatedly stomped on. Violence.
So that is the Marines getting beat up. And these are the soldiers. These are the soldiers. I don't know. Y'all got to go do some extra push-ups. So
Spilling out in other parts
these ain't the Rambos. They couldn't beat up John Jay like that.
of the country as well. 9 people were shot, including 3 children, on a boardwalk in Florida. And Chicago.
Wow, why is it shooting in the Hollywood? But I've been to Florida. Well, I used to live in Florida, but I didn't live in the Miami region. I lived in the Bay. Which the Bay is pretty cool. It's laid back, nice weather all the time. You ain't gonna get too much of this. It's like a Disney World type thing. And I said they don't got crime. It's crime everywhere. Let's continue.
Chicago turned into a war zone. At least 53.
They say it turned into a war zone. It's turned into the regular Chicago beginning of the summer. Like I say, you go back into the early 90s into the 80s and 70s, I bet you none of these world news was reported. But if you go put up a newspaper like the Chicago Defender and the Chicago Archives of Crime, you'll find the same thing of shootings. Now, for the murders, it might have been up or down, depending on the year. But shootings, they wasn't even tracking shootings like that unless you really got hurt. They otherwise look at if every person that shot, there should be somebody in jail.
3 people were shot, 11 of them killed, making it the deadliest weekend the Windy City has seen in 8 years. And that
Notice she said in 8 years. So that means the other one's been deadly too. But this is the deadliest. In 8 years, that's still, but it's a big city.
was despite efforts to prevent it. The state had deployed 30 yellow vested peacekeepers to help suppress violence.
How's the peacekeepers stopping the violence? You know what I'm saying? If the police can't stop it, so you saying a peacekeeper just because you got a yellow vest on? I got to see how that works. I have to look it up.
Didn't work. And newly elected left-wing mayor Brandon Johnson was touting money and even promised that things would be safe ahead of the weekend.
That's what mayors do. That's what politicians do. They're supposed to tell you everybody gonna be all right. But the criminals ain't listening to what he's saying. That's for the regular citizens, the people who voted it in, to comfort them. And the young people who ain't been doing a lot of living, then they could see how the system works. Then the older you get, the wiser you get.
This weekend, the soul of Chicago will be on display for residents, families, and visitors. Your safety is my top priority.
Man, I just love how they come with little pretty words. They write them speeches, but that's not I understand what they're trying to do, but it's not helping nothing. The actual problem.
And to that end, our public safety agencies have plans in place for the weekend and summer months to ensure that everyone can enjoy our city in peace. I really want
Ain't gonna never be no peace in the street. It's just not. The streets don't peace. As long as people come into the streets, it won't be no peace. The thing is, all those ones who graduate or coming out, these 18-year-olds, stay out the street. Don't participate in the street. Find you something else to do. That's gonna be better for your life, because the street gonna get you right into that dead end that you ain't gonna be able to get out of, and you're gonna crash into the wall.
to make sure that the full power of city government is out this weekend, keeping everyone informed, safe, and busy.
Keeping them informed. Yeah, they gonna keep them informed. Don't go over there, don't go here. Safe, safe to keep your eyes on rotation. And busy. If you outside, you should be busy. If you ain't busy, go in the house. Here we go with this buffer. It's gonna make me mad. Right when I'm in here trying to do something. I don't know why it's doing this. It's the second time doing that. Come on. I'm gonna stop this one. Here it comes. There it comes.
Judge, I'll let
There
you
you
kick
go.
us off today on all of that.
You know, I have to tell you, Dana, I am so
And you know I don't like her. But let's hear her points, because she's supposed to be the smartest lady in her.
flabbergasted that these people believe that defunding the police, as this new mayor in Chicago believed, is the answer. And when he says,
Now we know not to defund the police. That's just a bunch of dummies talking.
we want to show off the soul of Chicago and put it on display. And we're going to have the full power of city government. You're fools. You're all fools. The only
She called fools. But they ain't too bright, because like, hey, that's what I'm just saying. That's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen.
thing that we need the full power of is law enforcement to stop crime. And these regressives, they go back to trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to figure out what they can do to protect people. The deadliest weekend in terms of homicides, Memorial Day weekend in 8 years. Two 2-year-olds shot. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. What happened with the 2 years old? Where are the stories for that? How the 2-year-old shot? Now the 8-year part, it's gonna fluctuate. It's not gonna stay the same. So what, it was 2 less last year than this year? I mean 10 less, 10, 2, come on, man, stop. I'm gonna have to I'm still working on learning my editing, so the better I get, I'll be able to chop my videos up better. I appreciate y'all.
It's wild. And this yellow jacket nonsense, 30 of them.
That's what I see. It's like she reading my mind. But that's what I said. Who gives a fuck about some yellow party? You care about some yellow jackets?
They're going to take care of 3 million people. 2/3 of those 3 million people believe that public safety is the #1 issue. And you've got 30 yellow jackets, one of which is involved in a crime himself as a criminal, charged with 3 felonies. Do you even vet these people?
Dang, I not see. I never heard of these peacemakers, yellow coats. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing, but I guess she knows something that she done heard. But let her big mouth go. I still don't like her.
Look, we are now at a point when fools who know nothing about law enforcement are trying to stop crime. They don't know how to do it. God help us going forward.
Just
See, in the old days, the CPD beat more ass, so they kept the criminals in line. But now the criminals, they just say, "Hey, we getting our ass beat," and then now people are like, "Hey, they're making it something else." But some people who's criminals, that's getting their ass beat. The old days, if you ran, you just gonna get ass beat. That just comes with it. That's like part of the package. It's like a package deal. You run from the police, they gonna beat your ass, and that's it.
Jesse, I want to comment on either the Florida shooting or the Marines who got attacked in California.
The Marines got built. They got built. They shouldn't even be Marines. They stop. They need some more training. I mean, how they soldiering? What they only soldier? I mean, they balled up on the ground.
Well, Jordan Peterson, one of his 12 rules for life is you don't bother children while they're skateboarding.
Okay.
So if I'm at the beach.
Hey, he said don't bother children, but because he tried to say they children, but they young people. But these Marines supposed to be fit though, so I ain't going for that, you know. So they said something, and then somebody else said something, and then they got bum rush, as they said the whole day. It's public enemy. Bum rush the show.
And I see a bunch of children skateboarding or lighting off fireworks, I'm not going to run head first into a group of 50 kids doing whatever it is they're doing. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, because 50 kids gonna overpower. Like I say, they thought they was. I mean, but it's a group of them, so it's like, hey, they supposed to know some tactical something, man. What they've been teaching y'all in the Marines? What it embarrassing?
They deserve to get beat. Obviously, they didn't, but you got to know when to cool your jets. The peace.
You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You know, like Kenny Rogers say, know when to walk away and know when to run, or run up, or know when to run up. And they didn't know, so they got dealt with. And they homeboys want to get in, they got dealt with too.
Peacekeeping program is a Democrat ground game. Here's how it works. It's an $11 million program to fund 500 peacekeepers. Each peacekeeper gets paid $100. Dana, where's the rest of the $11 million going? Someone's getting the money because it's not going to the peacekeepers. The peacekeepers throw on a yellow jacket and they're ex-gang members and they go smoke cigarettes while the bullets whiz by.
Is that what they do? Now, come on, man, don't be silly. You know what I'm saying? Because the gang situation that was when I came up, it's not that same issuance because it wouldn't be happening. I mean, it was gang violence, but it was gang on gang. It wasn't random stuff because it was laws and rules. Those rules have been obsolete since the 21st century because that's the way the government wanted. They figured they'd break all the gangs up and break all the leaders up. And then this is what you got left.
And then you're going to say that you're reducing harm. You're basically paying people on the street every 5 years to get the votes together. That's how this works. And it's $11 million this year, and then next year it goes to $30 million. So that's how they say they're going to reduce violence. It's not going to reduce violence at all. The mayor actually threw out the first pitch in Chicago, and I have to say, I think the guys.
It'll reduce some gang violence, but not just violence in general, because all this ain't gang violence.
He's an idiot, and he's going to get people killed. And you vote for more shootings, you get more shootings. That's what democracy looks like. The guy's a good arm. And he threw a heater right over the center of the plate on Memorial Day weekend. That I respect. Everything else, guys, an absolute disaster.
Jesse, if you were on the beach and you got hit by fireworks, you wouldn't say anything?
I would be participating in the fireworks.
All right.
There you go. He said, I'll be participating. And I'm trying to figure out how they got hit with fireworks. Did somebody throw it at them? I mean, I don't understand.
I'm not, okay.
Thank you, Dana.
Harold Ford Jr., let you comment on that. There was also the problems in Hollywood Beach, Florida, where apparently it was, by an eyewitness account that we interviewed this morning on America's Newsroom, said it was younger men on feet, like teenagers, they thought, and they only had one person in custody.
It's an epidemic. Thanks again for having.
Yeah, because it's the young people doing it. Like I told you, it's these young people who coming out, these 21st century kids. They ain't grow up like how we did. These 21st century kids, they grew up with the internet. Everything's fast loaded. You know, you can watch anything on demand. You can program yourself. When I say program, the content you watch and the things you're around is programming you to be an adult. Once you're an adult, you're still programming. And you got to be able to filter through all that. And they get a million images a day on 1,000 different things, and they don't have the proper guidance.
Having me around the table. It's an epidemic national. You see in rural New Mexico, you see this happening. Obviously, Hollywood, we're 1 year anniversary of Uvalde. I think the judge is on to something and has been, as we all have been around the table. I think when strategies are run on by political officials and they win, and they implement those strategies and they don't work, be it public safety, be it education, be it climate change, be it anything, it would behoove an elected official to switch and change. To your point, I'm glad he has a nice arm, but it appears that some of the strategies, and he's only been in office a little bit of time, I'm hoping he's evaluating everything that's going on because we need more police on the streets without question.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's from the city. He probably grew up there, so he knows what's going on. He's don't have to really evaluate, but he needs to, like you say, he's gonna need more police and more people. The ones who doing the actual shooting, they gotta stay in jail. You know what I'm saying? They gotta stay in jail.
If we have to find ways, if I respect mayors that would come to Washington saying, I need more money to pay police officers and to train them and to give them more incentives to be police officers too. We need more technology to track this violence where it's the highest and where it's the worst in areas. I was on the phone with a dear friend in Detroit a little while ago as he was saying the mayor there is implementing innovative ways in which to try to track the violence to ensure that even before the police are called, the police are dispatched there because the red lights have this technology showing where gunfire and where activity may be. Judge, you may know some of those things. Yeah. 3, I think we have to begin an effort to seriously track or be able to account for certain guns. Because as I've said before, guns find their ways into places where you don't find good education and other things.
Because that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for, guns. If you want a gun, you can get a gun. Guns is like candy. That's at the store. It's 2023 out. It's the 21st century. Guns are available for anybody who knows how to operate their brain correctly.
Bottom line, I think you have to listen to the judge on this one. I think sometimes she can be a little partisan with it, but you're right. We need law enforcement and we need more of it in many of these areas because you're not going to prevent or discourage or dissuade people from committing these crimes if there's no accountability and if there's no police presence. I agree with you.
Well, see, the problem is, like in the areas, those poor areas, they need to start raising the kids up to be police instead of hating the police. So just like and raise more up to, when those kids come out of high school, it should be a certain percentage from that neighborhood that's going to be police because they know that neighborhood. They know what's going on in the neighborhood. You know, they're going to be able to pinpoint who's doing what, but if they already think it criminal, they're not. They're going to go the opposite direction. They're going to be a part of the problem.
With you there.
Yeah, but that gang didn't have guns that beat down those 3 Marines. Shame on them.
They sure didn't have no guns. They just built them. That's what made the Marines look soft, and anybody could join it.
But if there were police officers on that beach, that might not have happened.
We agree.
There was, just to the point about money isn't the only answer, Greg, there was Tio Hardiman from Chicago was on Newsroom this morning, told Bill Hemmer about how the policies actually need to change as well in addition to more police and more money. Watch here.
And we go again. Give me 1 second, y'all. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't abandon. I don't know why I keep buffering. Did the same thing it did last time, but at least I think it skipped the commercial. Commercial, you don't need it. Come on, let's go. I have to stop. I guess I won't get to see T.O. Hardiman. I know who T.O. Hardiman is. They was with the Peacekeepers before. Now I guess they call it the Peacemakers. But they changed the name of the group. That's what somebody trademarked it, and now they don't want you to use it. It makes no sense because I remember they was called the Peacekeepers back in, I think, 2008, the early 2000s. Shoot, that's 20 years ago. Well, it don't look like nothing gonna happen here. I'll stop it.